Yo, 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 yo. Welcome into a little Sports56 happy hour. I'm your buddy Johnny Radio. It's a little two-stepping Tuesday. I love doing a little two-stepping. I like doing two-stepping over at Los Cabos, baby, where the flavors of Mexico melt in your mouth. And I like going to their great bar and getting me a little bit of Tito's on a two-stepping Tuesday where it's extremely cold. And you got to get ready for some great college basketball tonight because we've got a unbelievable SEC slate. Man, you got them Gator boys looking at 0-2 start in the SEC as Tennessee comes to town. I mean, Tennessee. They have not been playing this year, if you haven't noticed. Number one team in the country, undefeated, balling. Interesting, though, Tennessee, as great as they look, guess who's favored tonight? The Florida Gators. The Gator boys. You also got Kentucky as a 2.5-point favorite at Georgia. Auburn 11 at Texas. Missouri 7-point favorite over LSU. And Mississippi State is a 1-point favorite at Vanderbilt. We're going to break down a little SEC basketball later on because it is that time of the year. We are getting ready for a little hoops action. And the conference play has started. And right now there's no other conference in the country that's as filthy as the SEC right now. A couple other good games around the country, like Michigan and UCLA is a 9 o'clock game tonight.
And Peacock.
It's on the Peacock?
It is, which is a shame.
Do you not have it anymore?
No, I do, but I think that should be a game that's on national or on at least television.
I agree with you. I'm sorry. I was looking through just Bryant Dacus in my eyes and people. I was like, I got the Peacock. So I can watch that tonight. That's the makeup game if you miss anything earlier, as the action always in college basketball starts at 6. The first one that I'm really going to be paying attention, though, is that Tennessee-Florida game. So, again, we are going to talk a little college hoops, and we're going to give you our bets at the end of the show. I got some great Hardwood stories today, too, by the way. Like some great Hardwood stories. There's a plethora of them out there, if you haven't noticed. The beginning of the year, boy, since January started, things have gotten wild. Again, you have Fox Sports and all their stuff that's going down. Joy Reid and Emmanuel Acho. Did you see the fact that they were on their shows yesterday and they did not address a single giant elephant that was in the room? I was like, wait, I'm like, Acho, come on, dog. He's talking about why the Giants ripped the faces off the dead basically, Minnesota Vikings. How did he say? He's like, man, the Lions thumped the Vikings. I'm like, dude, I want to hear about thumping of another type of thumping. Like, what about the bumping and grinding that's going around at Fox, baby? That's what I want to hear. And then Joy came up yesterday, and did you see her tatas were put up? Like, why?
Hey, that was the biggest thing I noticed. She was dressed like a schoolgirl yesterday.
Dude, she had her hair in a bun. She had a skirt on.
She had leggings on and whatnot.
Or whatever. Or do they wear pantyhose anymore? Are those pantyhose or are they leggings? Like, because I don't know. Do women still wear pantyhose? Damn, I think I should know this a lot more. I'm a leg guy. Huh. I don't see a lot of pantyhose. Interesting. Point is, though, we will definitely talk about that. If you don't know what I'm talking about, just go to Twitter, do Joy Taylor or Skip Bayless or Acho. I mean, it's out there. If you don't know, it's about sleeping your way to the top. And again, I just want to say something, as I love to joke about things, and yesterday I was joking a whole lot, having a lot of fun, pushing a lot of people's buttons because I do enjoy it. Like, can you really blame a girl? Like, can you really blame her? I mean, I don't know if you know this. I'm a weak exec.
Yeah, this is also still all just allegedly.
Oh, dude, allegedly. Allegedly, please. Again, as I said, not from my own personal experience, but workplace affairs do happen. Something about people being together a lot, and I don't know if you know, the only reason that we're all here is because of a little bump and grinding. You know what I'm saying? Like, none of us would be here without a little hanky-panky. But we got some great hardwood stories today. Also, I know Darian, I believe, likes movies. I saw, because last night I had to do the old date night thing, me and Chas. It was beautiful. Went and watched a movie, old school movie, let her pick, which is something I never do, which I need to do a little bit more. She's a sweetheart and an angel. But she wanted to watch Horrible Bosses, which is like 2011. It's got Jennifer Aniston.
Love Jen Aniston.
Fine as all get out in that show. She's a horrible boss because she's trying to basically sleep with her dental assistant.
I think I've actually seen that movie.
Yeah, and it's Jason Sudeikis. His boss is horrible because he dies, and his son's a cokehead. And then there's the other boss who's just the meanest person in the world, and it's the guy Kevin Spacey.
Yeah,
who now you can't even put on TV.
That's right. Can't even say his name, John.
And the jokes that they said during this movie, you can't even say those anymore, but they were damn funny.
John, I watched 21 Jump Street for the first time last night.
21 Jump Street. Oh, you talking about old school 21 Jump Street?
Whatever one came out in 2012.
Oh, that's not old school. But hey,
old school to me.
That's the one with the little fat kid that got skinny. Jonah Hill, yeah. Little fat curly headed kid. Right. He was funnier when he was fat. I had this conversation on Hot 107. If you didn't know, you can check me out 1:30 to 2:20 Monday through Friday down at Hot 107 with Superman. We talked about
what time do you go on? I'll tune in today.
1:30. Between about 1:30, we promo it usually like 1:35, 1:37 on, off by like 1:50, back on about 1:15.
So if I'm just tuning in, what's the segment name so I can know what I'm listening for?
Oh, I mean, it depends on the week. We've had Ask a White Dude, Johnny Dangerously. We break down sports, but you know how I do Hardwood very loosely based around sports?
Extremely loosely.
It's loosely based around sports like that. Like yesterday, my question was, he brought up Fat Joe. And do you know who Fat Joe is?
Someone said that they heard it was called Saint or Sinner one time.
Oh, we did Sinner and Saint. We do different bits. Like when they did Ask a White Dude, they called and asked me, why is it that white... Dude, and then, by the way, it's all improv. It's off
a great
the cuff.
segment.
Why can't white people dance?
Great question.
And I was like, girl, I don't know if you know this, but if it wasn't for me, Meg Thee Stallion wouldn't have a job. And she and Chris, how you figure? I was like, man, when I was a young kid, Phoebe Cates, Meg Ryan, all these skinny girls were in. Every time you saw a supermodel, man, she was ultra thin. And when I was a young boy, I used to love assets. If you know what I'm saying, assets. So I was girls, man. I'd be talking to them big booty girls and be like, man, you need to accentuate your assets. So I started working with them.
You're really making me nervous.
And then I introduced them, and I introduced them how to shake that rump. Rump Shaker wouldn't have been a song without me either. Next thing you know, you got girls shaking it, and the twerk was invented. So again, I said Meg Thee Stallion wouldn't have a job if it wasn't for me. So I don't want to hear all that BS about what white dudes can't dance. But anyway, the point is Fat Joe. Can you call him fat anymore? He's lost 200 pounds on Ozempic.
Ozempic Joe.
I mean, I don't know. You can't call him fat, P-H-A-T, because that's kind of, as we say now, since you can't say gay, we say feminine. And I just said it. But, it could have been meant for happy. But anyway, check that out. I don't know how I got off on that sidebar. I think it's because I was talking about fat people. Jonah Hill's a fat person that's now skinny. Fat Joe's a fat person that's now skinny. Ozempic, bro. I don't know. Take it, I guess. And back to sports. Sorry about that sidebar. My ADD gets in. I want to talk a little NFL right here. And I want y'all at the Sissy's Log Cabin text and listener line. Life's too short for ordinary Julie. 901-360-8255. 901-360-8255. I want to know what y'all think about the National Football League. I want you to think about your favorite football team in the National Football League. You love them, you love them, you love them, you love them. And the reason I bring this, if you didn't know, the Titans have fired their general manager, Rand Carthon. I hate to say it, they look very foolish because I don't know if you know, they used to have this dude named Mike Vrabel in the building. Mike Vrabel, you heard of him? He's kind of like everybody and their grandmother basically wants him as a coach right now. And in 2022, they fired Vrabel They fired John Robinson. They sided with Vrabel in 2022, and they fired John Robinson. Then they forced the marriage, which, by the way, forced marriages don't work. Do y'all believe in arranged marriages? I think they don't work. They shoved Rand Carthon down Mike Vrabel's throat. Then in 2024, Rand didn't like Mike. They sided with Rand Carthon and fired Mike Vrabel. And now guess what? Again, they just let Rand Carthon this year pick Brian Callahan as their coach. And this year they're keeping Brian Callahan and they're firing Rand Carthon. Do you see what's going on in Tennessee? Like, it's kind of embarrassing. It's terrible. It's Vrabel by John Robinson. Forced marriage by Rand Carthon. By Mike Vrabel. Then by Rand. It's just like everything at Tennessee, it just looks like a mess. One of the reasons is they don't have a quarterback, though. And not having a quarterback or a head coach is kind of a problem. We don't know how Brian Callahan is going to work out. We'll see. So far, hasn't looked great. But my question, the main one is if you had an opportunity to get an amazing all-time head coach or an all-time quarterback, what are you taking? Are you taking a Bill Belichick? Are you taking an Andy Reid? Or are you taking somebody like a Tom Brady or Peyton Manning? And the interesting things about these is, think about it. Belichick, defensive-minded dude, had Bledsoe there. He gets killed. Tom Brady, now one of the greatest quarterbacks in the history of the game. He was a 6th-round pick, 199th. Of course, Manning was number 1. Like, I guess the quarterback's going to be great. We've already got a little hindsight on that. But I'm just wondering, all-time great head coach, all-time great quarterback. And the reason I say that is because, again, if you look just at Tennessee and you look at the Patriots and you look at the Bears, like right now the Patriots are looking for their 3rd coach in 3 years. Think about that. They had such continuity under Kraft, under Belichick, under Brady for so long. Now it's in flux and it's an absolute mess. The Titans have been in a mess for a long while. The Bears even longer. And by the way, the Bears are stupid. Speaking of general managers, like they fired Matt Eberflus. His winning percentage was .304. Ryan Poles, since he's been there, his winning percentage is even worse. .294. He's a moron. The McCaskies, what are you doing? I just don't understand it. Like, you're going to let Ryan Poles look for your next new head coach? Like, do you trust what Ryan Poles is going to do? He hadn't made any good decisions since he's been there. So or hell, the Browns in their situation. That's the quarterback we really talk about. You let go of Baker Mayfield at those 41 touchdown passes. Or 40 touchdown passes. And you got Deshaun Watson, who's thrown 19 touchdown passes in 3 seasons with the Browns. We'll also get on that situation because he's out there TikToking when he supposedly has a setback. But what are you thinking about? Head coach? Or are you thinking about quarterback? Head coaches these days, and the reason I bring this up is also I want you to look at Ben Johnson over there with the Lions. Like, is head coaching today more about being the CEO of a billion-dollar corporation? Or is it more about actually coaching and development? Reed used to be just an offensive whiz. Belichick, defensive guru. Bill Walsh had that playbook. Like, you think about these great coaches, they brought a little something different to the table. But now I almost feel like when you're a head coach in the National Football League, you're more of a CEO. Again, of a billion-dollar corporation, and you and the GM have to get the pieces right. A head coach has to get the right offensive coordinator. He's got to get the right defensive coordinator. The GM's got to bring in his type of guys to set up his system. I just don't feel like it is much about the X's and O's when it comes to head coaches. Mike Vrabel. I think he's going to be a hell of a CEO, $1 billion corporation. Now, do you think right now Ben Johnson, who everybody and their grandmother wants, again, you can't argue with what he's done since he became the offensive coordinator for Detroit. This year, they had a historic year. The most offensive touchdowns for a team in NFL history. They are second at 69, only to the Broncos in 2013 that were led by Peyton Manning when they had 71 touchdowns. More than the 84 Dolphins, more than the 2007 Patriots, more than the 2018 Chiefs. Ben Johnson, do we know if he's a CEO? He didn't come out last year after everybody wanted him. Is he going to be able to be the CEO of a billion-dollar corporation, or is he best suited for calling plays? That's one of the things I think the NFL has an issue with. Because we always want the soup du jour. What's the special? How do you know the special just wasn't food that was a little bit late? You know what I mean? They just got to get that stuff out before it goes bad. Some specials can be really, really special, though. And I also think that, again, the connection between the coach and the quarterback is extremely critical for success. But, dude, if you don't have a quarterback, I don't care who you are as coach. You cannot win. Do you believe that Andy Reid, who was always looked at as a great offensive coach, do you not believe he was made into Andy Reid, the great manager of the clock, the man who has just put together the pieces? Or is it a lot that he got this dude named Pat Mahomes? I mean, because ever since he's got Pat Mahomes, do people not view Andy Reid totally different? I mean, he had it going on in Philadelphia when he had Donovan McNabb. They got to the NFC Championship game over and over. They reminded me of the Bills back in the day. Jim Kelly, Thurman Thomas, BB. But they couldn't win the big game. Even when T.O. was out there on one leg fighting like a madman. Man, if you didn't see Terrell Owens, he might have been a crazy human being. That dude could play football.
Special is the word, John. Special.
Special, man. He was special. I loved how he used to do his interviews working out with his shirt off. He never would have a shirt on ever. Now, if it was a woman, I'd really love it, but I just thought it was hilarious back then. He had people come over in his garage that one day, you remember?